Carmazzi's was started in 1893 by an Italian immigrant by the last name of Bianchi. And shortly after that, it was passed on to the Carmazzi family, who was a relative of the Bianchis. And it remained in the family through the next two generations. Until approximately 6 years ago, when it was purchased by Dr. Donne, and then we purchased it from him 2 years after that.
The first fair was held one day, October 14th, back in 1841. Just the single day event, and it rained all day, supposedly. So it went in 1856, it moved over to St. Paris for a while. And during the Civil War, I'm not sure where it was held in St. Paris, but they used the grounds for a training camp for the soldiers in the war. The grounds that we're at now was bought in 1889, and we've been there since. We've gone from the one-day fair to an 8-day event now.
It began in the 1890s. It was in a doctor's office, and it kind of grew from there. There was a group of local citizens who wanted some kind of, library resource that was available for the community, and then it kind of grew from there to the Public Library Association, the Urbana Library Association, different iterations of that to become the Champaign County Library that it is today.
Civista Bank started way back in 1851. The state of Ohio passed a Free Banking Act, and this was the first bank in Champaign County to be organized under that charter. In 1863, the federal government passed the Banking Act, and then Champaign Bank changed their charter to a national charter. So we have been around for over 160 years. It got started as a primary focus to help the businesses and the citizens of Urbana and Champaign County to prosper and grow as they conducted business and lived here in the county. It continues to support and work towards that mission of helping businesses and individuals grow and live in Champaign County, Ohio.
Urbana was first served by a couple of different telephone companies. The first one showed up in 1882. Later on, in 1898, they were competitors, and then in 1918, they merged to become one. So that was, at that time, we were called Champaign County Telephone Company, and we had acquired the Terre Haute service area as well. And then in 1925, we became Champaign Telephone Company. And here we are today. We've changed the name a couple of times, and after 100 years and a lot of technological advances, we're now a telephone and internet company serving you and connecting everyone globally but locally.
This is our 126th year. Manufacturing, basically selling our product worldwide. It does a number of things. Basically, our products are grinding wheel dressers, and we got started with a couple models and have gradually gone beyond that. Back in about 1905 or 6, grandfather got involved in the business, and he was, at that time, I'm told, the Ford dealer for the 5 counties in this area. But one of his good friends said, Mac, he said, that automotive thing is a passing fancy, so how about getting into this machine shop down on Water Street here in Urbana? Like a lot of companies, we evolve, And Dad then came along in the business, and I also, each of us after college, and son Jim and daughter Julie are now involved, being fourth generation in this company. And we've always been right here in Champaign County, same location, and making our products.
Well, it started in 1893, and it was started by Tom E. Dye. And at that point in time, you know, people weren't buying your typical homeowner insurance policies. It was just farms, because that's where the value was. Buildings in town and houses in town didn't really, wasn't enough value there to insure. So, and the story is, you know, families put more coverage on their horse than they did their house back in those days. So
it was harder to replace a really good horse than
yeah.
build another house. So
Yeah, and they were concerned about tornado insurance, wind insurance. Back then they called it cyclone insurance, I think. So, but that's, you know, that's the early day.
yeah, our great grandfather.
Yeah, we had a great grandfather, and then that's where it started. His son took it over, and you know, we're still
Here we are.
still cooking today.
So Martin Browne is approaching actually its 150th anniversary. In 2022, it'll be 150 years old. It started in Springfield, Ohio, initially with one attorney, Oscar T. Martin, and it's just grew over the years. It took on a variety of different names as different partners came in and came out, retired out. But Martin Browne Hull and Harper, which is the official name, has been the name for at least the last 50 years or so. So it's been a long-standing institution, legal institution in the Clark County, Springfield community, but we have served numerous clients in Champaign County. So a few years back, in 2016, we thought it was high time that we put an office in Urbana in Champaign County. And so we expanded and moved up here.
Well, first of all, Rutan Hospital was founded in Belle Fountain, Ohio 100 years ago. So we're celebrating our 100th anniversary this year. And we started in Urbana back in 2015. We started down the street beside Mercy Hospital. We had a small 3-exam room office. We could accommodate basically one provider at a time. And actually on our first day, we had no patients show up at all, so we were shut out on our first day. But soon after that, we became very busy. And our goal at this time was try to figure out, you know, what services are needed. So we just brought different specialties in and rotated them through, and the patients here in Champaign County pretty much told us, here's what services are needed. And so shortly after that, we found that, you know, we were outgrowing our space. And so we found this location that we're at today, 1880 East US Highway 36. And it's in front of Walmart. And so we remodeled the place. We put 6 exam rooms so we could accommodate 2 providers at a time. We also added physical therapy. We added x-ray and lab. And then soon after that, we were growing again. And so physical therapy has moved to Lippincott Lane on the other side of Walmart. And we've remodeled again, and now we have 8 or 9 exam rooms. We can accommodate 4 providers at a time.
The Ohio Caverns was actually discovered in August of 1897. Actually, a sinkhole developed on the other side of the road of State Route 245. Sinkhole opened up, and it was on a piece of property back then. Young man by the name of Robert Knopfsinger discovered the caves, and it was on a piece of property owned by a gentleman by the name of William Reams. Mr. Reams literally started tours 10 days later, which puts us at about 122 years ago, if my math's correct. But they started giving tours in the late 1800s, early 1900s. It was in the 1920s that other parts of the cave were discovered. some of the more highly decorated parts of the caves. And the cave actually opened under the name of Ohio Caverns in 1925, and we've pretty much been giving tours ever since then. But the original discovery, first tours went through in August of 1897.
So Menachem actually started in the late 1800s. We were originally a wooden pail manufacturer, and the wooden pail was used to carry butter longer than any other method out there at that time. Then in the early 1900s, we transitioned into corrugated packaging, which is still done today, and later into plastic packaging, which the Orbis plant here in Urbana manufactures.
Back in 1878, a small group of local individuals came together and felt that there was a need for a financial institution to provide and enhance home ownership in Champaign County, and we've been doing it ever since then. Our main focus is on mortgage loans and mortgage lending to assist in either a new loan or refinance, and we've carried the tradition. We've been very, very lucky that we've been able to be in business as long as we have.
This bank here on Monument Square actually used to be it's been a financial institution ever since the late 1800s. It's changed names a few times from a savings and loans bank to a full-on savings bank, but most recently people really know Citizens National Bank, which then became Security National Bank, Division of Park National Bank. So it's been a financial institution here since the late 1800s. A lot of history here at this building.
We have been in business since 1892. We were formed by a group of community leaders in Urbana that wanted to formulate a bank that worked with citizens of Urbana to help them purchase homes, making mortgage loans. They felt that it was important to work with the community, which is a philosophy that we've carried through for 127 years. We're still a community, small town community bank, and it originally started back in 1892, as I mentioned, and it was called the Provident Building Society, which soon became the People's Savings and Loan Company. Then as we fast forward to 1993, we became a state chartered savings bank, and now we are the People's Savings Bank of Urbana, Ohio. We have two locations, the main office on the square, and we have a branch operation on Scioto Street.
Well, the Urbana Daily Citizen dates back to 1838, as it says on our masthead. And there have been a lot of different newspapers in that time that have been variations of the Urbana Daily Citizen. It was once called the Urbana Citizen, Champaign Democrat. But the paper's been around for a long time, since 1838, one of the oldest businesses in the county. So it's been a big part of the culture here and of people's lives, and hopefully it'll continue for a long time.
The early years of Urbana University. Well, you know, Urbana University was founded in 1850 by Mr. Stewart, Colonel James. The first sort of president was Milo Williams, who had a very strong philosophy of being able to apply what you learn. It was part of that Swedenborgian tradition, that knowledge is only useful as your ability to apply it. And so those were some of the early settlers in this area who really had a passion for education and wanted to educate their Swedenborgian followers on traditions of the church. And so we are part of that new church tradition.
The community itself, it's a perfectly idyllic small town community. My family and I belong to the Champaign County YMCA, which is fabulous. It's got a true spirit of community. People truly do. Everyone does know everybody, and they care about their community, and it shows.
It offers many things in the way of a small community and yet being close to the larger cities. So we can always take advantage of other things. From 40 miles away, we have Dayton, Columbus, Springfield. There are many events that we can use, and many things right here locally.
Certainly love the people and the community involvement. Over the years, you know, because I'm an old person, I've worked on many committees, and it just seems like you can count on the people to stick together and it certainly has evolved from when I first started with the young people like yourself and so forth, carrying the tradition on, maybe carrying it in a different direction because that's the change of the times, but I think Champaign County grows really good people, and it is very evident with the organizations and the businesses that are now in business still. It's great, and just the volunteers that we get, everybody's willing to jump in and help.
The rich heritage that we have here, both from an industrial standpoint and also from an agricultural standpoint, that diversity also helps protect the county and its people from the swings in economic cycles from time to time. Typically, one of those industries will have a downtime when the other has an uptime. So we're not severely hampered when we have a downturn in any one economy. It's also that combination that just brings out the best in people. You get to see the whole gamut of all the citizens here in the county.
For us, it's just constant publicity. The Chamber gives us all kinds of feedback on how we're doing, how we're perceived in the area. They're our voice to many, many people, whether it's as employees, whether it's trying to partner us with other businesses and helping us grow and develop. But the Chamber, just more than anything, it gives us a voice out in the community.
Well, the Chamber's pretty instrumental in that opportunity structure for our faculty, staff, and students. We have organizations that are part of the Chamber who contribute actively to learning here on campus. The focus on leadership development that the Chamber has is really instrumental in providing opportunities for our faculty and staff to get involved. And of course, we play a critical role in supporting the Chamber by providing talent and a talent pipeline to the organizations that constitute the Chamber here in Champaign County.
Well, I think it's been really valuable to have a clearinghouse for all of the local businesses. And if we need a voice, we know where to find everyone. And especially a chamber with such a rich history like we have. It's just as special as all of these centennial businesses, really. So it's a value to us all, for sure.
Yeah, and hey, without the chamber, we wouldn't be sitting down doing an interview about the 100 years, anniversary. So I think it's important to draw that out, So.
Document and it's a historical artifact as much as anything else you find locally.
The Chamber, I think, has been a unifying point for Urbana to bring the businesses together through their functions. People get to be better acquainted with other business owners, share ideas. Certainly, they have more money as a group to spend on advertising and promotion than the individual businesses have. So I would strongly recommend anybody that's not a member of the Chamber to join.
The Chamber has provided many networking events, and I've met a lot of people through the various events, whether it was an after hours or a Friday coffee or just one of the other events they've been hosting throughout the community. I've made more of a name for myself just by going there and meeting new people. Without that, I don't know if I know half the people I know in the community right now without them.
We've worked with the Chamber on a couple of different projects to promote Champaign County, most notably the leadership program as well as the Chamber Night at the Races. By working with the Chamber to promote Champaign County, we're just making sure that everyone's aware of how good life can be and business can be in Champaign County together.
Most important thing I would say is don't feel like you're alone starting out. Feel free to find other people who have gone through similar experiences, find what resources are available, take advantage of it, and just don't feel like you're stuck on an island. to young people just starting out, I would encourage just being involved, volunteering for different community service projects. If there are any community service organizations you could join, that would be great. And any of the networking opportunities that the Chamber offers is definitely a way to find out what's going on and increase the network of connections that you have.
So I like the entrepreneurial spirit, and I think people do have to take chances and be ready for that. But I think if you surround yourself with talent and share your ideas and get some honest feedback from people, that's the way to go. And after you do make a decision and want to commit to it, kind of follow the plan, do, study, act, where you plan for an action, you take it, but then study the results of it, and then make changes to it. And I think the ability to adapt to changes is really key, because change is happening all the time with technology, and certainly in healthcare we're always chasing the changes that are happening around us.
Well, definitely know the subject you're working in. If you have a business, make sure you know the business. Education, of course, is very important. If you're going into business, you've got to make sure you know what you're doing as far as an education background. And I wouldn't say to get in too much debt to do that. I know that's a tough thing, maybe to focus your education if you're going into business. But it's a tough environment to be in business, and you've just got to be good at what you do, and you've got to have a great knowledge of your business. You can't go into something and not know the whole thing.
Find a mentor. Find someone that is in that line of business is one way. Talk to as many professionals as possible. A good source of information is the bankers here in the community. Talk to, if you're able to, talk to individuals that have like-type businesses, that their information and experiences are invaluable. Talking to me is another option. I have had many opportunities to speak to college students as well as high school students about career paths in banking, and if that is a desire of anyone, I would certainly welcome the opportunity to do that.
I think of people giving up too quick or stopping too soon. Continue to promote, continue to network, get very involved in the local community, and stay with it. Chances are, with a good business plan, it's going to be a success, but so often I just want to see people stay with it.